wireless headphones. So many hatred and grudge come in my head when I hear these words. Even masterpieces from Sony WH-1000X-M3 is losing in music quality to Chinese BA earphones with 5 dynamic drivers, that cost, by the way, significantly less. However, people demand something true wireless, so we decided, to hell with principles, let's bring on Anker Soundcore Liberty 2 Pro. Naming. Welcome to Tech Fellas, my name is Bogdan and I'm already in love with its nice K-Bros box. And you better sharpen your ears. My first, holy crap, came after we saw the case. It's different from the one AirPods have, looks unusual but sexy, especially cause of sliding upper part. Also, it charges both the Type-C port and wirelessly, which is just great. You may say no wonder, all that stuff is on the website and you can see that before getting product into your hands. But we didn't. As a matter of experiment, we chose these earbuds blindly just because it was new. To touch, check and discover it by ourselves, kinda like to claim the unknown by the law of surprise. Also, the box contains a wide range of ear tips and 3 pair of ear wings. Just for you to know, the black tips make the sound more neutral, and the green one add more bass for the one who enjoys booming. The earphones themselves are not that unusual, but somehow still look interesting and neat. I would even say that's an original style without showing off. The outer look obviously makes no doubts about rough ergonomics. We certainly have questions to it. You may not notice how much time will slip while you are still juggling with branded ear tips and ear wings, or even your own spin fits trying to find the best grab. After all, there's something intimate in this process. Ear tip by ear tip, you get to know your new device better. The grab, by the way, appeared to be fine. Worse than in my pseudo-custom Chinese earbuds, but Liberty 2 Pro actually holds nicely and doesn't fall out of ears. You won't see a deep landing here, neither won't find a decent sound insulation, and by the way, the foam tips sit just terribly on such short nozzles. But anyway, loud transport conversations or office humming are easily killed by high volume level, which I never rising above 3/4 of its maximum. Finishing about the body, the headphones are big and will mainly live outside of your head, so I wouldn't recommend to wear them under the head, unless you really want to suffer. One of the main downsides of compact wireless headphones has always been battery life and the charging speed. Here you'll find no problem with them. Soundcore claims these babies will last 8 hours from the built-in battery and that you can charge it completely 3 times from the case before it runs down. If this is not a pure truth from the company, it's still pretty close. We didn't test it for 8 hours, that's too much for me listening music for that long. The case supports fast charging that for 10 minutes can supply earphones with 2 hours of non-stop music. I also wanted to admit the connection quality. It's amazing here. I haven't yet had a single wireless headset that could deal, for example, with poor iPhone connection signal, keep it stable, and at a long distance without stuttering. There's a very slight delay, but even watching a movie or YouTube brings no feeling that the voices and facial expressions of actors live their own lives. There are 2 microphones in each earpiece. Why so many? It helps to remove noise during calls. However, this is not an active noise cancelling. It will cut away some stray sounds, but don't expect the promised highest quality of voice transmission. For instance, Xiaomi Bluetooth headset does this task much better, so for constant conversations you should buy something else. And what definitely keeps many sane buyers away from AirPods is the sound quality. So it's time for some audiophile madness. Liberty 2 Pro supports aptX codec, not HD or even LDAC, UAT or any other audio enhancement technologies. In any case, in my humble opinion, 1 out of 10 potential buyers knows how they work, so I will pretend that is fine. Inside there are 2 drivers for each earpiece, 11mm dynamic speaker and a balanced armature from Knowles. The signal that you'll get in ear is a V-shaped frequency response with a slight boost on treble and a very upturned bass. That demands so much attention that I whipped up the preset in equalizer to make it at least not so dominant. In practice, the bass is fluffy, thick and soft, while the lower the frequency, the more cloudy the sound comes. If the bass guitar plays almost clearly in here, then the drums and beats in electronics just can't put themselves together. Lows are lacking of sharpness that they are trying to compensate with quantity. Frankly, it all works out so-so. If to cut away our demands, then the average buyer should like these lows. There are a lot of them, they swing decently and doesn't go into some mooing. Mid frequencies are certainly cooked better, they are on the background, which is a cheap trick for inflating the soundstage. If you dig them up out of the veil of lows, you will hear a clean, fluid and musical sound. Audiophiles will feel a lack of air, but these are TWS earphones, and their creators doesn't care what's the opinion of audio nerds with players that cost 1 or 2 grand. The one responsible for treble is a BA from Knowles, and this is audible right away. Highs are detailed, fairly transparent and very well tuned, avoiding peaks on sibilants and other slippery things that can make a person buy something instead of Liberty 2 Pro. Treble copes brilliantly with its main task, making the sound pure and detailed with good cymbals and expressive string instruments. The final words go to the Soundcore app. It has the equalizer I mentioned before, options for sound customization depending on how you hear with your left and right ears, as well as setting the buttons on earphones and updating the firmware. The only thing I strongly wanted to see here is a subtle adjustment of the volume level, which is present, for example, in HIFI Blue. Summarizing the stuff, is it finally possible to buy wireless headphones for a small cost that will sound nothing worse than wired ones? Still not, but within a bunch of AirPods knockoffs it's possible to dig something that tries not to be a parody and gives quite audible sound, not flawless, but not tearing away. For people who are not too spoiled with headphones, this could be the love from the first sight. Anyway, I will leave the link to the internet store where you can buy these earbuds in the description box below. And if you like this video, then why not to support our channel by subscribing to it, hitting the like button, ringing the bell to stay tuned for more cool content. My thanks for watching, and cheers! Mine is Bogdan and I'm already in love with its nice K-Bros box.